Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine waking up tomorrow with nothing in your life changed, except for one thing: your mind. The same world, the same people, the same challenges, but suddenly you see everything differently. The worries that once consumed you now seem insignificant. The stress that used to drain you no longer has power over you. The happiness you thought was distant is now right here, within you. What if I told you that this shift is not only possible, but entirely within your control? Happiness isn't something you find, it's something you create. It's not hidden in wealth, relationships, or achievements. It's not waiting for you in some distant future. It's already here, inside you, waiting to be unlocked. But most people never realize this. They search for happiness like it's an object to be obtained, when in reality, it's a state of mind to be cultivated. They let their peace be dictated by circumstances, forgetting that true freedom is the ability to choose how you respond to life. Today, I'm going to show you how. Not with vague inspiration, but with real, timeless wisdom. The kind that has guided the greatest minds for centuries. Because the truth is simple. If you master your mind, you master your life. And once you do that, nothing can stop you. Now, if this message resonates with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. A friend, a loved one, someone who's struggling. And if you have a story of your own, a moment where you chose happiness despite the odds, share it in the comments below. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs today. Let's begin. 1. Happiness comes from within, not external factors. What if everything you believed about happiness was a lie? People chase wealth, relationships, and achievements, convinced that these things will bring them lasting joy. Yet, how many millionaires are miserable? How many celebrities, despite having everything, struggle with depression? I used to think that making more money would make me happy. I worked tirelessly and bought everything I thought would bring fulfillment, only to feel emptier than before. Because here's the truth. External success can enhance happiness, but it can never create it. Imagine a man who spends years climbing the corporate ladder, sacrificing sleep, family, and health. He finally gets the promotion. The paycheck is bigger. The title sounds impressive. But after the excitement fades, he feels exactly the same, restless, unsatisfied, searching for the next goal. Now picture another man. He wakes up at sunrise, sips his coffee on the front porch, and listens to the birds. He has no million-dollar mansion and no luxury car, but he chooses to feel at peace. He understands something that the world keeps ignoring. Happiness is a decision, not a destination. One man keeps chasing. The other man keeps living. Money can buy comfort, but it cannot buy contentment. A relationship can bring love, but it cannot fill an emotional void. A title can give prestige, but it cannot provide purpose. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful emperors in history, had everything. Yet his greatest wisdom came from looking inward. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your external world will always change. Money, relationships, and careers will rise and fall. But if your peace depends on these things, you will always be at the mercy of circumstances. You've seen it before. The millionaire drowning in stress, trapped by the very wealth he thought would free him. The high achiever who has everything yet wakes up feeling empty. And then there's the retired man with a modest income, who takes daily walks, enjoys time with family, and appreciates the small moments. He is happy, not because of what he has, but because of how he thinks. This is not about rejecting success. It's about detaching happiness from it. Practice gratitude daily. Instead of obsessing over what's missing, acknowledge what's already good. Every day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. This rewires your mind to focus on abundance rather than lack. Redefine success on your own terms. Society tells you success is status and wealth. But real success? It's waking up with peace of mind. It's choosing inner stability over external validation. Detach from the need for approval. No amount of admiration from others will make you love yourself. Stop seeking validation. Start seeking self-mastery. Master your mindset. When something doesn't go your way, pause. Ask, will this matter a year from now? Train yourself to control your reaction, not the event. Happiness is not a place you arrive at. It's a state of mind you cultivate. A millionaire can be miserable. A simple man can be joyful. The difference? perception. Your circumstances may shape your experiences, but they do not define your inner peace. You don't need more. You need less attachment to what is outside your control. Think about this. If today you had everything stripped away, your job, your possessions, your status, could you still find peace within yourself? Comment below. What's one thing you once believed would make you happy but didn't? Let's start a conversation. And if you know someone trapped in the pursuit of external happiness, share this with them. They need to hear this. 2. You create your own reality. There was a time when I believed I wasn't smart enough to succeed. That belief shaped my decisions. I avoided challenges, played small, and stayed in my comfort zone. I convinced myself that I wasn't capable, and so I wasn't. My actions reflected my thoughts, and my reality became a mirror of my mindset. Then something shifted. I asked myself, what if this belief isn't true? What if I started acting like someone who could succeed? What if, instead of running from challenges, I embraced them? That one change in thinking led to actions I never would have taken before. I applied for opportunities I once thought were beyond me. I took risks. I pushed past discomfort. And the results? They were undeniable. The moment I changed my mind, I changed my life. This isn't just my story. It's a universal truth. Your reality is shaped by your thoughts. A negative mind creates a negative world. A disciplined, focused mind creates a reality of success. Every action you take is a direct reflection of the beliefs you hold. And if you're not careful, those beliefs will write the script of your life, whether you realize it or not. Think about this. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm unlucky, I'll never be successful, or nothing ever works out for me, what happens? Your actions will align with those beliefs. You'll avoid risks, hesitate on opportunities, and sabotage yourself without even knowing it. And in the end, those beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies. Now, imagine the opposite. Imagine waking up every morning and telling yourself, I am capable, I create my opportunities, I will succeed. How do you think your actions would change? Would you take more chances? Would you step into challenges instead of running from them? Would you push through obstacles instead of giving up? This is not just motivational talk. It's a psychological reality. Your thoughts dictate your behavior. Your behavior shapes your results. Your results create your life. The cycle is in your hands. 2 men lose their jobs. One sees it as the end. He falls into depression, blames the economy, and gives up on himself. The other sees it as a beginning, an opportunity to build something of his own, to take control of his future. A year later, the first man is still struggling, waiting for a break that never comes. The second man? He's thriving, running his own business, stronger than ever. Same situation, 2 different mindsets, 2 entirely different realities. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control what happens, but we can control how we respond. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." If you master your thoughts, you master your world. If you don't, your world will master you. So how do you take back control? First, become aware of your internal dialogue. Pay attention to the words you tell yourself every day. Are they empowering or destructive? Second, challenge your negative beliefs. The mind is conditioned by repetition. If you've spent years telling yourself you're not good enough, it's time to rewrite the narrative. Third, act as if your success is inevitable. Even if you don't believe it yet, take action. Action creates momentum, and momentum builds confidence. This is not about blind optimism. It's about responsibility. It's about recognizing that you are not a victim of circumstance. You are the architect of your reality. You can choose to see obstacles as barriers or as stepping stones. You can choose to stay trapped in limiting beliefs or break free from them. The choice has always been yours. Now, I want you to think about this. What is one belief that has been holding you back? Something you've told yourself over and over again. Something that has shaped your life in ways you don't even realize. Identify it. Challenge it. Rewrite it. 3. Perception shapes reality. 2 men look out from behind prison bars. One sees mud, the other sees stars. The same environment, the same constraints, but 2 completely different realities. Every single day people experience this exact phenomenon. 2 individuals can go through the same challenge. One sees an opportunity, and the other sees a curse. One becomes stronger, the other becomes bitter. Why? Because perception is more powerful than circumstance. Most suffering does not come from what happens, but from how we interpret it. You lose a job. One person calls it a disaster, another calls it a fresh start. You make a bad investment. One sees it as financial ruin, and the other sees it as tuition for the best lesson in financial discipline they'll ever receive. The event is the same. The outcome is determined by your mind. You might believe that the world exists as it is, but in truth, you do not see reality. You see your version of reality. Your mind filters everything through past experiences, emotions, and expectations. And if you are not careful, that filter will keep you trapped. Think of a man who has been betrayed in love. He now believes that all relationships end in heartbreak. He carries that belief into every new relationship. Mistrust, insecurity, suspicion, and eventually those behaviors push people away. His perception has become his reality. Or take someone who once failed in business. Instead of learning from the experience, they tell themselves, "I'm just not meant for success." They never try again. They never take another risk. They convince themselves that failure is permanent, and so it is. Your perception is the architect of your future. If you see obstacles as permanent, they will be. If you see setbacks as stepping stones, they will be. If you believe the world is against you, your mind will collect every piece of evidence to support that belief. And if you believe opportunities are everywhere, you will find them. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus said, "People are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them." The problem is never the event, it is your mind's interpretation of it. Change your interpretation, and you change everything. But how do you do that? How do you shift your perception when everything in your mind is screaming that life is unfair? First, question your initial reaction. When something bad happens, stop and ask yourself, is this really bad, or am I just seeing it that way? Second, reframe the situation. Instead of saying, "I lost money," say, "I paid for experience." Instead of saying, "This is a failure," say, "This is feedback." Third, detach from emotion before you decide what something means. Anger, frustration, disappointment, these distort reality. Take a breath, step back, then decide how you will see the situation. A warrior does not complain about the weight of his sword. He trains with it. A sailor does not curse the wind. He learns to navigate it. Life will bring struggles. People will betray you. Plans will fail. But none of these things have inherent meaning. You are the one who assigns meaning to them. So ask yourself today, what is one situation in your life that you have labeled as a curse, but could be a lesson? What if the setback you're experiencing right now is not a punishment, but a preparation? What if what you thought was the end was actually the beginning? 4. Challenges are lessons, not failures. I failed in my first business, miserably. I had invested time, money, and energy believing I had everything figured out. But when reality hit, the business crumbled. I lost everything I had built. It would have been easy to label myself a failure, to walk away and never try again. But instead, I asked one simple question: what went wrong? Instead of drowning in self-pity, I dissected every mistake. I studied my decisions, analyzed my weaknesses, and restructured my mindset. That failure became my greatest teacher. And when I started again, I built something better, something stronger. Today, I look back and realize that so-called failure was the best thing that ever happened to me. You've been there too. A moment where everything fell apart. A time when you felt trapped with no way out. Maybe it was a job loss, a broken relationship, or a dream that never materialized. At that moment, it felt like the end. But was it? Or was it simply a lesson disguised as a failure? Most people fear failure because they see it as a verdict, a final judgment. They think failure means they are incapable, unworthy, or doomed to repeat the same mistakes. But failure is not a stop sign. It is a redirection. Think of an athlete training for the Olympics. They don't win gold on their first attempt. They fall, they miss, they fail, over and over. But they don't see those failures as proof they aren't good enough. They see them as feedback, as data, as lessons, and they adjust, improve, and try again. The same applies to life. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, to sharpen your skills, but only if you're willing to see it that way. When Thomas Edison was asked about his thousands of failed attempts at creating the light bulb, he didn't call them failures. He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That is the mindset of someone who refuses to let setbacks define them. Now let's talk about you. Have you been avoiding challenges? Have you been running from failure, afraid of what it might mean? What if, instead of fearing it, you embraced it? What if you saw failure as part of the process? Here's what successful people understand. They don't avoid failure, they welcome it. Every great innovator, leader, and creator has failed more times than most people have even tried. They extract wisdom from every setback. They ask, "What can I learn from this?" instead of, "Why did this happen to me?" They don't personalize failure. It is not a reflection of their worth. It is a reflection of their strategy. Strategies can be changed. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "Difficulties show a person's true character." The storms of life do not destroy the strong, they reveal them. The only question is, will you let challenges break you, or will you use them to build yourself? If you've recently faced a setback, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Maybe that job rejection is pushing you towards something greater. Maybe that heartbreak is clearing space for the right person. Maybe that failure is forcing you to evolve in ways you never would have otherwise. You can either see challenges as obstacles or as stepping stones. The choice is yours. 5. No one can steal your peace unless you let them. Who controls your emotions? Is it you, or do you hand that power over to anyone who provokes you? Every day, people test your patience. A stranger cuts you off in traffic. A coworker makes a passive-aggressive remark. A family member brings up something they know will get under your skin. And in that moment, you have a choice. You can react, get angry, let it ruin your mood, and give them control over your emotions. Or you can refuse to engage, protect your peace, and walk away stronger. Most people don't realize this, but anger is submission. The moment someone can make you lose control, they own you. They dictate your state of mind, they pull the strings, and you dance. But the Stoics understood something powerful. Your emotions are yours. Your peace is yours. No one can take it unless you hand it over. Picture this. Two men walk through the same crowded city. Someone bumps into them aggressively. The first man explodes with rage, shouting, escalating the situation. The second man barely reacts. He glances, then moves on. Same event, two entirely different experiences. One man allowed a stranger to hijack his emotions. The other stayed in control. Who was stronger? Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic emperors, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The world will test you. People will insult you, inconvenience you, and try to get a reaction out of you. But their words, their actions, they mean nothing unless you decide they do. So why do people let themselves be controlled? Because they don't realize they have a choice. They think emotional reactions are automatic, that they must get angry, that they must retaliate. But that is an illusion. Imagine a glass of still water. The surface is calm, unshaken. But if you let every insult, every inconvenience, every small frustration stir it, soon it becomes a storm. A reactive mind is like that, a chaotic mess, easily disturbed. But a disciplined mind, it remains clear, steady, untouchable. If someone insults you, what changes? Nothing, unless you let it. If someone disagrees with you, what does it take away from you? Nothing, unless you allow it to. If someone tries to provoke you, the only way they succeed is if you participate. Walk away, and they lose all power. Think about the last time you got truly angry. Did it help you? Did it improve the situation? Or did it just drain your energy, poison your mind, and leave you worse off? Every time you let someone disrupt your peace, you hand them a piece of yourself. And for what? A moment of self-righteous anger? A brief satisfaction of winning an argument? No. True strength is knowing when to engage and when to walk away. When to speak and when silence is the louder answer. When to fight and when the real victory is refusing to step into the battle. This is not about being passive. It's about being in control. It's about deciding that no one else dictates your emotional state. It's about becoming untouchable, not because the world is kind, but because you have built a mind strong enough to withstand anything. So next time someone tries to provoke you, pause. Ask yourself, Is this worth my peace? Is this worth my energy? Am I in control or am I being controlled? And if the answer is no, walk away. Let them talk, let them be angry, let them waste their energy, but not you. Never you. 6. Gratitude unlocks happiness. A man sat in his old car, frustrated. The engine made strange noises, the seats were worn out, and he envied those driving luxury cars. As he muttered complaints under his breath, his eyes caught something. A man in a wheelchair rolling himself down the sidewalk. No car, no ability to walk, yet smiling and laughing with a friend. At that moment, the man in the old car realized something. He had spent so much time focusing on what he lacked that he forgot what he had. Most people live like this. They focus on what's missing, the promotion they didn't get, the relationship that didn't work, the dream that hasn't happened yet. They count losses instead of blessings. They obsess over what they don't have instead of appreciating what they do. And because of that, they are never satisfied. Happiness is not about getting more. It's about recognizing what you already have. A millionaire can sit in his mansion, overwhelmed with stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. Meanwhile, a man with very little can wake up every day, breathe in the morning air, sip a cup of coffee, and smile, because he chooses to see abundance, not lack. The difference? Perspective. Most suffering is not caused by a lack of things. It's caused by a lack of gratitude. If you don't appreciate what you have now, you won't appreciate anything you gain in the future. The Stoics understood this deeply. Seneca said, "No man is poor who has enough, and no man is rich who craves more." The endless pursuit of more is an illusion. You get the promotion, you want a higher one. You buy the car, you want the next model. You reach a milestone and suddenly it's not enough. The cycle never ends unless you break it with gratitude. Gratitude is not just a concept, it's a practice. And when practiced daily, it transforms the way you experience life. So how do you cultivate gratitude? First, start your day by listing 3 things you're grateful for. It can be small: your health, a good meal, a conversation with a loved one. When you do this every morning, you train your mind to see abundance instead of scarcity. Second, reframe your struggles. Instead of complaining about work, be grateful you have a job. Instead of focusing on what's stressful, recognize what it's teaching you. Instead of saying "I have to do something," shift it to "I get to," because someone else wishes they had your opportunities. Third, express gratitude out loud. Tell the people around you that you appreciate them. Thank life for the simple joys. The more you express gratitude, the more it grows. Gratitude shifts your mindset from lack to fulfillment. It moves you from envy to appreciation. It takes you from always chasing happiness to realizing it's already here. So ask yourself, are you focusing on what's missing or what's present? Are you waiting for happiness or are you recognizing it? 7. True freedom comes from mastering your mind. The truth is, most people are not free. They believe they are, but their emotions are controlled by external forces. The news dictates their mood. A stranger's insult ruins their day. A small inconvenience sends them into frustration. They are prisoners, not of walls, but of their own minds. If external things control your emotions, then you are not in control of yourself. A strong mind remains calm, focused, and unshaken. No matter what happens, it does not crumble. It does not react out of impulse. It does not surrender its peace to things outside of its control. And this is what most people fail to understand. The greatest power you can ever attain is mastery over your own thoughts. Imagine a storm raging in the ocean. The waves crash violently, chaos everywhere. But deep beneath the surface, the water remains still, undisturbed. Your mind must be like that. Life will throw storms at you. People will test your patience. Challenges will come, and losses will happen. But if your peace is dependent on everything going right, you will never be free. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The problem is that most people never take this power. They give it away. To circumstances, to other people, to fleeting emotions. But here's the truth. Your reaction is always your choice. You lose money. Do you panic, or do you strategize? Someone insults you. Do you react, or do you stay calm? Plans fall apart. Do you crumble, or do you adapt? Weak minds blame circumstances. Strong minds master themselves. Think of the most unshakable people in history, the warriors, the leaders, the great thinkers. They did not crumble under pressure. They did not let emotions dictate their decisions. They did not react to every little inconvenience. They were in control. So how do you build this level of mental strength? First, train yourself to pause before reacting. When something happens, don't respond immediately. Take a breath. Step back. Give yourself space to think. Most mistakes come from impulsive reactions. Mastery begins with self-restraint. Second, detach from what you cannot control. People's opinions, not in your control. The past, not in your control. What happens next, often not in your control. But your response, that is always yours. Third, cultivate inner stillness. A storm cannot shake you if your roots are deep. Meditate. Reflect. Spend time in silence. Learn to be comfortable in your own mind. The world wants you to be reactive. It wants you to be easily manipulated by fear, anger, and frustration. The strongest people are the ones who refuse to play that game. They protect their inner world like a fortress. 8. Happiness is within everyone's reach. I used to believe happiness was somewhere out there. Something to be found. Something to be earned. I thought I needed the perfect job, the perfect relationship, the perfect life to finally feel fulfilled. But I was wrong. Happiness was never out there. It was within me the entire time. I just didn't know how to see it. Most people make the same mistake. They spend their lives chasing happiness like a destination. They say, I'll be happy when I make more money. I'll be happy when I find the right person. I'll be happy when life gets easier. But here's the hard truth. If happiness is always a condition, you will never reach it. Because as soon as you get what you want, you'll want something else. And the cycle never ends. No one is born happy. No one wakes up every day with endless joy just because life is perfect. Because life is never perfect. Happiness is not something that happens to you. It is something you choose. Think about two people in the same situation. Both face struggles, disappointments, and losses. One is bitter, resentful, and always focused on what's missing. The other smiles, laughs, and finds joy in the small things. What's the difference? Perspective. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them." Life itself is neutral. It is your perception that makes it good or bad. You do not need perfect circumstances to be happy. You need a shift in mindset. Instead of saying, I will be happy when life gets better, say, I will be happy no matter what life brings. Instead of waiting for happiness, create it. Happiness is already available to you, right now, in the breath you take, in the warmth of the sun, in the smile of a stranger, in the ability to wake up and live another day. The problem is that most people overlook these things. They are too busy looking forward to seeing what's right in front of them. So how do you start choosing happiness? First, stop chasing what's missing. If you are always focused on what you lack, you will never appreciate what you have. Gratitude is the fastest way to shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Second, detach happiness from conditions. It is not found in money, status, or success. If it were, every wealthy person would be overjoyed. And yet, so many of them are miserable. Meanwhile, people with little to their name often radiate joy, because happiness is a state of being, not a prize to be won. Third, be present. Most of your suffering is not from the present moment. It is from regrets about the past or worries about the future. But neither exists. The only reality is now. And right now, you have the power to feel joy if you allow yourself to. It does not matter what your past was. It does not matter how many times life has disappointed you. Happiness is still a choice you can make today, right now. So ask yourself, are you waiting for happiness or are you creating it? Are you delaying joy for a future that may never come, or are you allowing yourself to feel it now? As we close today's discussion, remember this simple truth. Happiness, peace, and true freedom are not external circumstances. They are the result of mastering your mind. The world will never align perfectly with your desires. Life will always bring challenges, obstacles, and setbacks. But how you respond to these moments determines your reality. Mastering your thoughts, embracing gratitude, and controlling your emotional responses, these are not just lofty ideals. They are practices and daily decisions you can make to transform your life. You don't need perfect conditions to be happy. You need a disciplined mind to see joy where others see the struggle. Take these lessons with you. Practice them every day. Start small. Recognize when your thoughts are veering toward negativity and gently shift them. Embrace gratitude, even in difficult moments. And most importantly, remember that your happiness is not dependent on anything outside of you. It is a choice you can make each day. The power to change your life is already within you. It's not out there waiting for you to find it. It's inside your thoughts, your perspective, your actions. So make the choice. Choose happiness. Choose peace. Choose freedom. I invite you to share your own stories in the comments below. What mindset shifts have helped you find peace or happiness in your own life? Let's learn from each other and grow together. Remember, you hold the key to your own transformation. Use it wisely.